Hello, hello. This is our second attempt at showcasing the new website. The first we had failed bandwidth and we had to give it up. To all of those watching now that were live on the first one, apologies. Thank you for your patience. And I hope that we can regain your confidence through this recording. It is about showcasing. We don't need to do any of this. Hello, hello. Welcome to FI Consult showcasing of our brand new website. The objectives of today are very simple. We'd like to show you the new website. We want to show you around the new website, and we're going to assume that you are here watching this because you're a client or potential client looking for something and you'd like to know how to find it. If you're not a client or potential client and you're simply snooping, that's fine as well, because we're very proud of what we put together and would love to share it with you. So before we go into the new website, we're going to take a moment to have a look at the old website, because we really want to show or portray the story of where we were versus where we've come. And I'm just going to move some things around here, because there are very specific reasons for having built a new website, not just because we want a new design, but because we needed to move into a new era. So here's the old website. And we believed at the time, a year ago, when we launched the company and we launched this website along with it, that we were explaining what we do very clearly with this first statement. We consult to financial institutions on strategy, ops, and human engagement. And our mission is to help advice businesses unlock potential and lock in value. We still like those lines. We think they were worded very well, but what we realized over time is that they don't clearly articulate what we do to would-be potential clients. And we needed to get very clear so that when anyone lands on the website, they have a very good idea of what we do and how we do it. So this nudged us to create a new website for many, many reasons, not just the one that I mentioned now. But the original was something we needed to get up with the launch of the business, and we designed it as a one-pager brochure style website. And even though it was brochure style, it wasn't informative enough. That was the problem, is that we didn't have readers go away having made their way through the website, really truly understanding what we're about. Since then, our value proposition has evolved significantly. As with any business, in a year of being in existence, we also learn a lot. Our core philosophy and our approach to the work that we do has not changed, but the way that we do it and the way that we work with our clients has changed. We also do more different things still under the consultancy banner, and that needs to be demonstrated and explained on the website. The underlying services also weren't clear, and they've expanded significantly. The next thing is that we didn't really love the design. We never loved the design. As you can see, as I scroll through it, it's very blue. It's 50 shades of blue. And it's all the shades are variations of our color palette, but it's very blue. And lastly, the existing website didn't make provision for future needs. One of them is exactly this right now. This, well, we're not live anymore because because we had some challenges with Zoom and our bandwidth, but events. It didn't make provision for events, of which we have done many and we will be doing many, many more. We also didn't have a blog page, and that's not just a page, but it's a page that's live and needs to be actively updated on a regular basis. Also, and this is a big part of it, is that into the new website, we needed a learning management system. If you've been with following FI Consult for a while, you'll know that the Insane Prospecting brand of helping advisors get in front of potential new clients has collapsed, and all of the content has moved into the FI Consult space. Now, that Insane Prospecting brand included a 27 module course, and that has to be housed on this thing we call the learning management system, which is tech that sits behind a website. And the old website, being a one-page brochure style, certainly didn't accommodate for that. So we've built the learning management system, and the Insane Prospecting course will be going on to that soon enough. The old page certainly didn't, because it was simple, it didn't allow for quick and easy updates as and when, even if it's just copy changes or additional text or whatever it is. And it certainly, as a result, as well, didn't allow for the addition of further pages and expanded services. And what we needed to do was have control over that ourselves, so that we could, David and I could ourselves go in at any time and just add stuff to that without really having to rely on the web development business in terms of time more than anything. We, when we want something, we want it now. And as financial service provider businesses, I'm sure you'll understand that. So that was the old website. And here we are very proud to present to you the brand new website. We've spent a number of months on this, and it is exactly where we want it to be. We're proud of the design, the flow, and the content. We believe that we have managed to very clearly, well articulate what we do and how we do it. And that's what we're going to share with you today. The website is not currently published, so you'll see Wix branding up at the top, and that's fine. So if you go to ficonsult.co.za, you'll still see what the old or current website. We're showcasing the new website to you, but it's only going to move onto the domain and go live somewhere between 1 and 2 weeks. That's a little bit complicated because we're working between 2 development platforms, and there's email hosting and everything, but the website is, for all intents and purposes, complete. So if you don't see it live when you go on, that is why. Although, watching this now, you're watching the recorded version. So I'm speaking as if I'm speaking to a live audience, but for anyone watching this within the next few days after publishing it, that is why you're not seeing it. All right, I'm going to take you through the website, and not to bore you with navigation, because there is nothing worse than being taken through every line of every bit of text on every page of a new website. I really want to show you around and give you a feel for what it is, but mostly as a potential client, existing client, or just a nosy character that wants to see what we're about and what we're up to. I'm gonna show you it at a higher level. So we think that we've, or at least we believe that we have very adequately shared on this website what we do. We are strategic partners to financial services providers. And we explain through the website what strategic partnership means. We expand on that by saying that Financial Institution Consult, which is where FI Consult comes from. And by the way, it's not F1 Consult. We're not a Formula One company. We're not into car racing. It's Financial Institution Consult. It's a management consulting firm that works exclusively with businesses that provide advice of a financial nature. So the majority of the work that we do and will be doing is with financial planning businesses. But that doesn't rule out short-term brokerages or medical aid businesses, because a lot of what we do can be applied to those businesses as well. And we do have experience, extensive experience working with medical aid businesses in the last year. And we have recent experience working with a large short-term insurance business. So the last thing that needs to be made clear at this point is that the management consulting is both a service in and with itself, but it's also an approach to everything that we do, meaning that when we speak to existing and potential new clients, we take a management consulting approach. We try and understand where they're stuck. We try and understand where their problem is and how it relates to how they want to grow the business. And ultimately, what we want to help them to grow and scale that business. And what we said before still holds true, is that scaling is whatever it means to that particular business. It could be scaling back. It could be that you have too many clients and you want fewer, but you want to be way more profitable. Now, what's very different about this new website when comparing it to the old one is that we're getting very specific with regard to all of the services. So we've created the section called How We Serve the Financial Planning Profession. And we include management consultancy as a service, even though it's our approach to everything. And we go into all our other sub-services to management consulting, their sub-services, but they can stand alone and be a service in their own right as well. And I'll go into those just now so that you can properly understand that. And then we just remind any viewer here that we are the advisors to the advice businesses, because there are many, many financial services provider businesses that get to a point where in order to take their business to the next level, they need help for whatever reason. They don't have the experience or the expertise, or they're just so busy working on or in their business that they don't have time to even work on their business, but in a different way. So there are leaders within businesses that have either focused on working on the business and on stuck working in the business, but they are still at a point where they've been successful. They've taken the business to a certain level, but to take it to the next level, they need help. And that's what strategic partnership is. We strategically partner with the businesses almost in an executive or a board fashion in order to help them take it to the next level. So David and I are the owners and co-founders and directors of the business, and we take lead on all client relationships. It's still mostly at this time, 5th of July, 2024. David and I get involved in every aspect of the business, but we are working with associates and we are outsourcing when and if we need to. What you'll see happen over the next 6 to 12 months with FI Consult is that we will be hiring into the business, especially as we develop future services, which I'll share with you in a moment. So the next and one of the biggest additions to this website is this list of services. So on the front page, you will always see our upcoming events that we've created for ourselves. Today's is not here because it's gone and passed because we had a problem with the recording. We had a problem with the Zoom, so it was here half an hour ago. But on the 16th, we're launching our executive coaching service within the business. And on the 30th of July, the media training, which will work beautifully alongside public relations. And something that's going to be added to this on the 23rd of July is the formal launch of our business management service. And then the panel of wise advisors is a panel of representatives in leadership from really successful financial planning businesses, large and small and everything in between, where we meet up every 6 weeks to talk about the business of financial planning. So it's by invitation only, but the reason we put this on the front page is that we think it's really important to demonstrate to anyone interested in FI Consult or working with FI Consult that we're not only coming from the place of we think we know what we're doing and we're going to tell you what to do with your business, but we work with on a regular basis and fairly deeply financial planning businesses to discuss business leadership topics of interest that affect the growing and the scaling of financial planning businesses. So it's not just us. We really work as close as possible with the industry to do everything we can to learn what works and what doesn't and see how we can help. So the About section has been significantly expanded upon, not that it's text heavy by any means, but the old website used to really be the About section and it wasn't clear. So the first part of this has been completely overhauled. We explain that FI Consult is short for Financial Institution Consulting, and what that means and why we do it. We explain what we do and how we do it. We show the services that we do and who we do it for. We still keep in that evolution of business and the inflection point where businesses are faced with choice. We just don't spend so much time on it. And we go into a bit more detail around that, explaining, and this is really taken from the old website, but just positioned more clearly, we believe, that we work with strategy, operations, and human engagement. That's our bigger picture. And then we drop into systems, processes, and people. And under those, we create a number of service categories. And that's the new part of the business where we are clearly defining that as sub-services and standalone services. Then to all of these services are dozens of possible themes that we work with. And the themes are very well articulated now, which they weren't necessarily done before. And then we go into some other aspects, which is some of this is taken from the old website, just about how we establish the relationship and who advises the advice businesses, just a little bit more about who we are, our independence, our philosophy to a large degree, and that we are not bound by institutional red tape or legacy beliefs and thinking. And that's very, very important. We are 100% independent, and our only accountability is to our clients. And then we move into services. So you can either click on the service menu over there and get some thumbnail previews of all of the services, and or click on each one of the services and go into detail. So I'm going to click on the service category so that you can see them all. And we explain once again, just so that it is understood, because this is what we found our clients wanted to know. Like, you have services and you're consulting, is everything consulting, or can we enter the relationship through task or project, or does it have to be a retainer-based consultancy exercise? And it doesn't have to be. So our services are consulting-led, which means that while we do offer management consulting as a service, our approach is to explore and understand, and then we'll recommend specific services, of which one of those specific services can be management consulting. And then we go and list each one of the services as they stand now. So I think you know what management consulting is. If you've spent any time with us, if you've been in the financial world for long enough, you get it. So I don't want to be too proud as to compare ourselves to the likes of McKinsey, but we take the same approach to management consulting. We just only work with the financial services profession, only that profession. And although we haven't officially launched it, it is available, executive coaching, because we believe that working with leaders of organizations and who they are and how they show up, both in a personal and a professional business, can have huge and significant changes within the organization. You may have a goal and a mission and even a strategy, but if your people, both at leadership level and at implementation operational level, are not performing at the level that they need to, then you are not going to reach the goals. Now, we launched functional strategy earlier this year, and we decided to go with functional strategy versus just a traditional style strategy because we believe it works better. And if I think about what happened back in 2020 and into 2021, is a lot of businesses had a business strategy, but then they were hit with circumstantial and environmental threats, things that got in the way of achieving the strategy. And a lot of the businesses struggled or collapsed because that strategy was destroyed. But with a functional strategy, we believe that the strategy must continue despite the circumstances. So it needs to prevail even when the business circumstances change. And functional strategy is a strategy for life, but the elements may change, and we do consider scenario planning and red flags and everything you might be familiar with. The training and education aspect of it is very new. And we're certainly talking to our existing clients about what we have in there. I'll go into some detail in a moment. Public relations, we launched this year. We're the only business that has a public relations solution for exclusively financial planning businesses. And we are still on our market penetration pricing strategy. So at this time, our prices are incredibly comparatively low, but we offer large public relations businesses quality and impact for the work that we do. Now, business management is something that we extracted from what we were doing anyway under the management consulting banner, but we've just honed in on it. You might call it practice management. It's a lot more than that. I'll go into that in a moment. Event management is something that we're launching. We'll officially launch later on in the year, but we're doing some work around this. Change management comes with strategy and environmental impacts. Keynote presentations, David's got two of his own. I have one of my own, but we can also expand on that. Content development is something that we've done and are doing. And 360-degree surveys and psychometrics are something that we have but haven't launched. And we will be expanding on that and officially launching it later on in the year. The future services stuff we're working on, we'll show that to you in a moment. And the working themes. So as I described earlier, we've got to the management consulting approach to working with our clients, and then we've got management consulting and all the services as services under those. But then under each of those come themes. So they're just examples of themes over here. The themes really come through our conversations with our clients when we hone in on what problems we want to solve. But they're things like software and technology, process, philosophy, culture, leadership, structure, strategy, succession planning, partnership and ownership structures and shareholding, acquisition, joint ventures. We're working on something with that, with an international business that's buying a local business. The client experience, something we go deeply into. marketing and advertising, prospecting, under technology, hardware, software, artificial intelligence, fees, client fees, remuneration for advisors, and so on and so on and so on. So I've explained some of these services in too much detail, considering I was just on the front page over there, but each one of these service menu items explains it in enough detail for you to prompt your thinking and to have you ask questions and get in contact with us so that we can then set up a introductory session and try and understand your business circumstances and challenges and see how we can help you. The coaching, just to go back to it for a second, is two parts. The first is coaching for leaders, leadership teams, and financial planning professionals. But the second part to the coaching is teaching your team to be coach-like, especially the financial advisor team. Because years ago, we're talking more than 2 decades ago, we recognized the parallel between financial planning and coaching. And coaching also emanates from leadership. And we believe that financial planning and the relationship you have with your clients is a relationship where they require the advisor's leadership in the pursuit of their objectives and their dreams. So for a financial advisor to show up as a coach is very important. And if we have a look at the UFS postgrad diploma, they're even including behavioral coaching in that nowadays. So it's becoming more and more important to train your advisors to be coach-like in the way that they show up with their clients. The functional strategy we've been doing with our clients for some time. We've got a full day and a 2-day option, 2-day being the most powerful because we go into a lot more support on that. And training and education, we're building this up at quite a rapid pace. So the first thing is that the Insane Prospecting boot camps and online course are coming under the FI Consult banner. We're good to go with the boot camps. We're still moving the online course, look at 27 modules onto the learning management system. And what's coming soon is prospecting for advice businesses, because for a number of years now, we've been helping advisors to get in front of potential new clients. But we also believe that there's an opportunity for the businesses to open markets for the advisors to move into to then form the relationships with the clients. So we're going to be formalizing some work in that regard during the course of this year. We've got a presentation skills course, which is ideally in person, but it can also be done online. And by the way, in person can be anywhere in the country. And that we believe is a crucial component for certain representatives in the business to acquire those skills, because the business and its people are always presenting, and to develop those communication skills and to become an impactful speaker and communicate effectively is paramount to the success of a financial advisor and a financial planning business. Media training is something that we are ready to go with, and we will be launching later this month. And we've got 3 levels of facilitator. The first being a very well-known journalist and talk show host and anchor. And the second being, the latter just not a journalist, although she does have journalist training. And the third being a media trainer. The difference between the 3 is really the pricing more than anything. And although we haven't publicized this, and we might not launch it formally, it's just something we'll keep in our service offering when we meet with clients and we understand their needs and any gaps, is to help them with business assurance, because not enough financial planning businesses are going into the depth and seeing the opportunity to expand the business holistically in terms of its service offering to include businesses. So it's an opportunity for businesses and advisors to service in the space, but it's very rarely embraced. And we can offer our support in many, many aspects of this, from consulting to, we call it shadow boxing, which is role playing and come-alongs, where we actually go along with advisors to their business assurance, if we can call it that, meetings, and work with them. And there are many ways in which we can do this. For example, on a consultancy or retainer basis, or on a commission share basis. So if that's of interest, please get in contact with us on that. The public relations bit we very successfully launched earlier this year, and we have a number of clients and they're experiencing great success in that regard. Business management is something that we're probably approaching differently to now than we did originally. We never intended to have a practice management solution within the business, and we're not going to launch an online course or any kinds of programs around that, because there are a lot of businesses and people that are doing that. So our approach to business management is, let's understand your business operationally, and then whatever sits under operations, from systems to processes to your documentation to your compliance, maybe it's policy or governance, whatever it is that you are working on and with and is in existence in your business, but you're either struggling with, or you want to take it to the next level, or you just need to update, or you need to quality check this. That's where we're doing most of the work in that respect. Change management is something that comes around as a result of everything else we do, because if we're changing the way the business works, it's affecting the people. And if the financial planning profession as an environment is changing, it's affecting the business, which affects the people. And both the business and the people need to be supported in this regard. Our keynotes currently stand that David has a keynote on planning trends and another one on compliance by the client and not by the book. The title around which he actually does an extraordinary amount of work in the financial planning businesses on this. And then I've got my keynote on insane prospecting. So this is the financial advisors getting in front of potential new clients. But we can very easily and pretty quickly create a keynote on prospecting for the business. Also, considering all of our services and all of the underlying themes, it's not difficult for both David and I to create keynotes, workshops, presentations on any of those topics. So when we were last asked what we can speak on, and we considered all of the themes with which we work, we put together a list of about 30 different topics. The 27 remaining that you don't see here are just not formalized. The next service is content development. Now, this is where we develop content for businesses based on their needs. And that content is ultimately intellectual property. And depending on our licensing agreement, either the business owns it or we own it. There are many, many ways in which we can create that together with our clients. So it usually involves the creation of the content as a concept, and then going into scripting it and sketching it, and then going into pre-production mode and then producing it, and then packaging it. And then depending on what the content is and the client with which we work, it may go one place or another. So an example of one of the ones that we recently did was around lead sources. So what we did was we created two specific genres. The one was 50 generic modules, and the other was 12 specific modules on the re-intermediation theme as a lead source. And that was received very well by the company that commissioned us to do that. 360s and psychometric testing is something that we believe financial planning businesses don't do enough. And it's not an expensive thing to do. Neither of them are expensive. There are premium price solutions to this. But if you want your leaders to get a feeling of how they show up and are received in the business, or you want yourselves as the leaders in the business or anyone else in the business to understand who they are and how they're received and perceived by others, then psychometric testing is great. So we do have more tests. We just haven't put them all up right now. Two of the ones we love in terms of Feedback Rocket is in terms of 360-degree surveys, is the Feedback Rocket and Authentic Leadership. Lesser known, in fact, Authentic Leadership Assessment is one of the surveys that blew me away. It has been so well designed, but it hasn't been marketed hard enough. So Feedback Rocket, what we love about that, and this page hasn't been updated over here, unfortunately, has been updated in the back end, you're just not seeing it here, is that Feedback Rocket allows anonymous conversations between the leaders and the employees, for example. All right, and we also give it. So something we will be launching later is client psychometric tests. So this is tests that you can use with your clients in order to help them to understand their relationship with money. And there are some financial planning businesses that do that, but not enough. And then we give away some free tests, or at least we give links to some free tests so you can play with this and you can have your clients play with it as well. Something that's very exciting is what we're working on. It's none of this is live right now, but these are in the pipeline and they'll all be launched at varying times, some this year, some next year, and maybe they'll be launched in different ways. So not just the timing, but why they may be launched in tranches as well. Research being a good example of that. So there's in-house research and commissioned research. We would love to offer a paraplanning service to our clients so that they can outsource that. Artificial intelligence is something that we cannot ignore. We would love to offer, and we will offer, the service of design work to our clients. We are not going to step on any toes. There are some marketing companies that work exclusively with financial service providers, and what they do very well. We will fill in some gaps and work collaboratively with the existing businesses as well. There's no need to reinvent a wheel within our business. And recruitment is something that we might dabble in. It's been tried and it's failed. It's failed many times, but because it's not ever going to be a core service for us. In other words, we won't rely on the money that we might get from recruitment to run FI Consult. We can offer it as a service, and we don't have to make money from it. And then anyone wanting to get involved, please contact us. Okay, so from an event point of view, we've got the events that we are hosting and you are invited to, exactly like this one over here. Exactly like this. And they will always be listed over here. And then there are the events that we host for you and with you. And although each one of these has the detail, I'm not going to go into the detail with you today because we are already significantly over time. But the categories are new business development. So we help our clients to come up with new business development ideas. In other words, to get in front of potential new clients. And we help the business and we help the advisors. There are many, many ways in which we can do that. From a client prospecting point of view, we've got over 171 ways in which we can do it. And from a business prospecting solution, we've got at least 18 different ways. But we'll help you in all respects, even if it's setting up the event for you. We can do that. Client appreciation events are, you might know them as wining and dining, or presentations where they bring a friend. And I think a lot of these are tired, and we've got many new and exciting ideas in the way that we can do these. So if you look over there, there's some ideas. They are completely different. No one else is doing this as client appreciation events. They are exciting and they don't have to cost money. Some cost a lot of money, but not all of them have to cost money. And then we've got team development and dynamics, which you might know as team building, but we look at it very differently. And our approach to it is very different and very exciting as well. And then the selling of advice. And we were looking for the events that you as financial planning businesses hold. And we thought, how can we support you in these events so that you can continue the events that you already hold? And we saw it from a design and an execution point of view. So if you're looking to redesign or enhance the way that you do business from the perspective of the selling of advice, we can help you with that. So that's really philosophy and process. And in terms of execution, we're looking at how you deliver that advice. And we would immerse ourselves in things like regular sales meetings, powwows, and power hours. So you can read through that to get more information. We launched our blog. We have 2 blogs live, at least on this development website. And we're contactable either through the hello@ email address or on the form submission. So that is us. I think I went over time. I hope you stayed with me, but I think I achieved the objective of showcasing the website and helping you to understand what FI Consult does and how we do it, and provide a lot more clarity for you, the would-be strategic partner, the existing client, or the personal business that's simply interested in getting a better understanding. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending the time with us. We will see you sometime very soon. Take care.